sidewalk. We can parking lot that for a future meeting. And if there's anything that needs to actually be voted on by the committee, we can't do that in a workshop. So. Anything else stands up? Anything? I know you're an audience member here.
I think we match introductions for everyone.
I was going to do the pledge and then do introductions. So we're going to do the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call. Right up.
Sorry, I didn't know if everyone. I'm Lindsay Turner, working as the chair of the Pinnacle Park Revitalization Ice Rink Committee.
Jim Chinkett, I'm on the Pinnacle Park Committee.
Ben Hall, also the Pinnacle Park Committee.
Heather Holland, Vice President, Pinnacle Ski Club.
Paul Knoll, Secretary at the Pinnacle Ski Club.
The workshop,
Heather Donahue, Town Council member.
and Mayor.
And Mayor.
Pete Rogers, Town Council member.
All right, Pete. All right. So, as the Pinnacle Park Committee, we're going to kind of just moderate, I guess, if we will. Obviously, there's two entities utilizing the space and some things to work through, and obviously, if we have concerns about any part of the facility and the upkeep in the long term, as far as from the town's perspective, we'll voice those concerns, but we just want to kind of help the two groups walk them through the items they have to work through and get a path forward on them. So, first we want to get into just talking about the actual facility itself, space, storage, that kind of piece here, I guess. So, right now I know it's full of stuff everywhere.
Well, it's gone. It's not anymore. It's all cleaned up
right now.
Yeah, they
Really?
just cleaning it up this week.
Wow.
It is gorgeous.
Right.
There's just a box of skates that she has under a workbench right now. But other than that, there's no equipment out in the lodge right now. So.
Nice.
Totally usable, workable. If you had been in there, we got a big influx of inventory that we had to sort, look through inventory, and then find storage for what didn't need to filter into the space we had. So.
Gotcha. Okay. As far as storage and stuff moving forward.
Moving forward, I'm actually looking at the master plan that we had started to develop back in September, or before that. That's last time I edited it was September. And we did address the concern for space, whether there was an expansion, opportunity to minimize the kitchen space and add more storage space inside. The downside with skates, ski boots, any of those things, if you have any outdoor non-secure storage, we have mice, we have all those other issues, and it just deteriorates all of our equipment very quickly. I know I have stuff now personally stored at my farm, and you were talking about doing the same thing.
We have stuff.
Which is fine right now, but as far as moving forward with both of the programs, being able to have a way that it's all stored there, just so it's like when we move on and we hand it down to our torch down to the next person, it's not like, oh hey, yeah, we've got all this stuff that you gotta find somewhere to do. So, if we can do something like that and work on joint, like right now, storage sharing and things are I think we're okay right now.
Yeah, it's workable.
We're getting by.
We kind of found a space that was not occupied, and it was sort of a few skates and sticks and poles, broken stuff under there, and I was like, we can maybe accommodate this spot, and we got about 100 pairs of skates in a big pile, but it's all within the same square, so it's working for us for now.
It is.
Next year it would be nice to have maybe a little spot where we could hang them on a wall. Maybe the kitchen would be a good opportunity.
Well, we were talking about moving a wall, having another walk-through. With our rentals there and multiple accesses to the building, being able to lock all of our equipment up, is ideal. And then we can get the most use out of the building just for the park entirely. So.
If it's helpful, I don't envision a time where we need to lock up our skates, because ours is a very different sort of rental program. The value isn't there like it is with ski stuff. So what would be awesome for us is just to have it out off, like maybe on a hanging. I've seen people do like little peg boards and just hang skates, and we're gonna thin our inventory out. Like we're not gonna keep 100 pairs of skates. I probably rented 10 or 15 pair total this whole season, and I imagine it'll be like that. And then we got 45 pairs on top of our 65 pairs. We're like really good on inventory right now, but it would be nice to get it maybe in a little more manageable spot. So if there's a vision for that, then we would be happy to. I honestly think we probably could do it with a very small like section of a wall and just go multiple tiers on a long hook, kind of try to line them up by size, almost like you'd see like a garage organizing, you know how they bring out those kind of long things. We could put multiple pairs back and take up a very small amount of space for that.
Now, where are your skates now?
They're just under the workbench. It's kind of miraculous they all fit there.
Oh, okay.
Like if you walk in over
a pile
around
under the workbench.
There's just a pile.
I can't imagine trying to find a specific
I kind of
size,
was like, big ones, figure skates. Like I just dig and then find what I need.
And
But
the storage lockers, I'm guessing, pretty full.
it's actually not completely full, but it's pretty full. Yeah.
We've kept it so that we can actually get in and out
Right,
organized wise.
Yeah.
I mean, we could slide that box in if we had to. And
I got you.
I think it might have already been in there once or twice.
Oh, really?
And then you mean to secure it and lock it up?
If we had to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe for the sake of rentals. I just can't imagine anyone taking skates. Maybe they would, but I'd hate. I mean, I believe in humanity, so I think that
Oh, we
hopefully
do. Half our boots, those are.
Yeah.
they're sitting out. Yeah. So I'm.
I got a question for you. What's the status of the other storage shed on the other side of the Packer shed? Is it still standing and the doors are
It's
still?
standing. We emptied out any of the garbage. We sorted through anything. It's just not a very secure as far as mice and those things. We can store things in there, but nothing.
Maybe like skis or something would be all right.
Maybe, yeah.
So are the doors still kind of off or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of leaning up against them?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not much going on there. We picked up a lot of
Yeah,
glass.
That would be possibly an option for not boots necessarily, but probably skis. I mean, nothing's going to hurt them really.
Right.
If you had to, I mean,
Yeah.
fix the doors or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a big deal really.
Yeah, they're, if it were too dilapidated, right, and you guys wanted to, build a small shed or get something donated or purchased or whatever, like,
Park it
we
there
could
instead.
find relief for
Yeah.
that to go and stuff. Similar to what they did down in Thurman
Mhm.
there, so. So as far as getting more space in the building, which it does make sense, and we've talked for years about the kitchen being probably quite a bit bigger than it needs to be. And we do have a kind of a master plan topic now, a little lower, so maybe we'll talk about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, totally.
When we get there, and we'll just, we can all use a little more space to store stuff.
Mhm.
Utility costs, just general discussion on utility costs.
So we looked at our bills going from November, December to January, February. Now, we've only been open one day on the Bunny Hill. So what's nice is we're able to actually look at our numbers as normal, just to see like what the skate group impacts it. It's gone up $20 a month, which
With the new lights.
is
Yeah.
actually not bad.
Yeah.
That's
So,
kind of the projection.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
given by-
yeah.
by the-
right. So that's the only impact. We haven't really looked at our oil usage
Yeah.
because you guys haven't really been.
We haven't
up there
changed the
much.
temperature once, like,
Right.
because when you come in, the people who've gone in,
It's
they go
set
in
at-
quickly, they go to the
yeah.
bathroom, and they go back out.
It's
so
set
it's-
at 50 so
And it
that
stays.
nothing breaks,
Yeah.
and if people do come in to go to the bathroom, it's definitely warmer.
Then
It's
you
really
know,
only our rentals that bump it up,
That's
or
true.
things like that. So
Yeah.
we didn't even address that. So utility costs went up 20 a month to the ski club. That's it. So you said those were projections, and that's what it was.
And those lights come on every afternoon from 4 to 10 p.m. And we've turned them off a couple times to deter people when the conditions were poor, but pretty much it's on every night for about 6 hours in the right conditions, so that's not bad.
Now, when we get to the point where there's no ice anymore, we're out of the
Yeah,
ice
we'll
season,
shut them off.
we'll shut them off.
Yeah, which will probably be sadly sooner than later.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be like in the 40s
Yeah.
week after next.
Okay, so,
So do we propose that we would want to, how do we want to share those costs? Is that something that we want to look at
I
doing?
think that's probably just between the two groups.
Yeah.
The Pinnacle Park Committee doesn't really care how you guys share.
Okay, so you would just say, go ahead and share the cost, and we pay, you guys would give us a copy of the bill, we can
Yeah,
invoice
yeah.
it through the town and go that way? Because we have an account, if we're gonna do it for this year or wait, because I know the whole rentals thing, like how do you tease that out? You can't really, so.
Right, which, that's the only nice thing is we haven't had much going on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would never have been able to track the difference,
Right.
you know?
Right. So, yeah, I mean, there is revenue being generated from renting the facility, which you guys have managed, and obviously the revenue has helped pay for the utilities and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
So that does play into it. So I guess, median, are you looking for the group to pay $60, $80, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, whatever seems, you know, it's hard for me to say that, you know, with us doing the rentals that, you know, they need to pay us $20 a month because we do have stuff coming in from rentals. They're using electricity and potentially way more. So I don't think I'm able to say, you know, what our group would want or whether we think we deserve, you know, X amount of dollars a month from it. So.
Okay.
And I don't know the right answer. Do you have anything to say?
No, I mean, she's hit the nail on the head. It's a really minimal impact on us that if we were in operations, I don't think we'd even see it. When we've got the ropes going and our lights on at night. So, you know, it's not a big issue to me.
Yeah. As far as this year, as we're still, especially as we're still figuring out.
What it looks like. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we put in lights, they run every day for 6 hours. I feel like it makes sense for our group to give some kind of contribution. We are not a wealthy establishment. We are
Neither are we.
very modest bottom line.
Yes.
But I think we could come up with some sort of donation or contribution or something to the group. And I can run it by the group and then we can,
Yeah.
I don't know if we can just send something
It
in
doesn't-
after,
yeah,
but
I
I
think
would
we go
feel
through.
right giving some money. So I think that would be a fair thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Here it is.
Even if
Still
it
on
was,
speed.
even if it was like a non-monetary thing, you know, hey, you know, we got this project, we'll kick in some help on that,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
for sure.
I think everybody in our group would be happy with that.
Yeah, we're definitely open to
Okay.
monetary or non-monetary
Okay.
mutual agreement.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, that was simple and painless.
Let's talk about water now. So was 45 a quarter, whether or not you use the building or not. So,
They haven't touched our water.
Yeah,
We have,
well, that's not necessarily true because if they're in there using the facilities, they're flushing the toilets. So
that's a good point.
theoretically, they are
Yeah.
to a small degree, of course.
Right.
But, so I looked into the fact that because during the summertime, you're still paying. It was $45 when I was there. It's probably pretty close to that. And in the summertime, you know, that building could be vacant for 2 or 3 months at a time, and you're still paying the $45. You're not drawing a drop of water. So I talked to the town manager about it, and she said, "Well, that's kind of like the cost of business." I talked to the the head of the water department. He says, "Well, we could shut it off, but it's going to cost you like $125 to turn it back on." So.
Does the town realize it's a town-owned building, so they're billing themselves?
Well, the argument that I received back then was, well, you're getting the revenues off of the rental, which the town is not getting, even though it's a town-owned property, and that's when I said, okay, you win.
Fair, absolutely.
You got me on that.
Yeah.
So,
That
so
might inhibit
45 a quarter
Absolutely.
times, so we're talking $180 a year, so that's probably gonna be more significant than the electricity at this point, I'm thinking, so, or fairly close.
Yeah.
No,
Really
the
close.
electricity, our base on the electricity is about 40 a month.
Now, you're talking on the two different
Yeah.
bills?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 20 and change.
Okay, so now
per
when
each,
that
even when we don't use it.
when that's running 2 or 3 times a week, that's going to significantly increase.
Right, right.
Okay, just, you know.
Yeah.
And we only have 2 months of rent of electricity on them, so you know,
Yeah, that's-
if we were there, we haven't been open all year. We had one day in December. So,
And that's too bad, by the way.
Yeah.
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 no.
Okay.
Any other expenses in
Really on us, it's the
Water.
water,
Just the-
the electricity, and
And
then
the oil.
our oil.
the oil, right?
So in the past, I know that we went through busy season a couple of years ago was probably 2 tanks, which is what, 550 gallons
Yeah.
at $2.3 a gallon. So that was the major funding as far as utilities go.
Yeah, it's definitely one of our biggest expenses,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
since they weren't raising and lowering, I didn't bring like the numbers of usage.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna
Since
say.
they didn't, we're running that at 50 all winter
Right,
anyway.
right.
So.
Yep, with a brand new thermostat in it too. So.
Yeah.
So before I get off track, I'm getting off track a little bit, but so that furnace hasn't been cleaned for at least a couple of years. So unless it was done within the last year or so, just so you know,
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
So, about 1,000 gallons or so of oil, right? You said.
No.
No,
700?
no. So 2 tanks is 275, so it's 550 gallons
Total.
for pretty much for the whole year.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's better.
Because you don't really use it in the summertime, so the 3 or 4 or 5 months, it was about maybe 600 gallons
Okay.
at the most. At was it 250, 260 a gallon, something like that.
Yeah, I'd have to talk to Sarah. She's our treasurer right now, so.
Yeah.
Talking about the furnace cleaning.
Yeah.
I believe the town has a little bit of money set aside for any incidentals that come up, and the furnace to me is a part of the facility.
Mhm.
The oil being consumed is one thing, maintaining the structure and
Okay.
the components within it, I think, are maybe another, right, so let's see.
Is there a service contract for it?
I don't know.
I know they have one, I know they have one for the theater, there's a service contract for the theater.
No,
There is not a
Because
contract.
the Pinnacle Ski Club
Not a
has
contract.
been maintaining all of the oil deliveries, so we just kind of spot market, get deliveries as we need them right now, so.
I found, Heather, that without a contract, the oil is cheaper, and you can shop
No,
around.
I meant for the servicing,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
they shop price of them.
Yes. Yep.
So somebody mentioned that to the town manager, just see if there is
Mhm.
anything there, something that would.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Covered by the town.
business or a building maintenance, more or less.
Yeah, yep, I think that would be fair. But again, I have to check on that. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Anything else on utility costs? All right, rentals. I think there's a couple different topics of rentals. I obviously know the rental of the facility, the ski club has been managing that and renting that and overseeing that. That's gone pretty well. I don't know if there's any concerns with that or just the timing of kind of establishing when and how during both of the group's peak seasons.
Usually we don't do a lot of rentals during the peak season.
Yeah.
And we've been pretty good about being communicating
Yeah,
now.
I think the only couple times that were early in the season was a Christmas party, that big one, but
Yeah.
that was more us. The skating rink was open. It was great that it was open, but we certainly I don't think anyone was there the actual party time because the rink cleared out. But I wouldn't want to like have a public skating rink that's open and have someone have like their grandmother's birthday party in there and have like a bunch of people coming through to use the bathroom. That was sort of my like, ooh, we don't want to interrupt something that's happening that's important and someone has paid to use the facility. So what's the best way to make sure that, because closing the rink on like a Friday night in like January when it's like perfect skating condition, you know what I mean? It'd be like closing the ski hill on a Saturday afternoon from 1 to 4. You'd be like, oh, we really can't do that to our people who are members, you know what I mean? So I don't know if we can come to some kind of general rule of thumb that we all try to communicate.
And, I mean, if the rink is working out and it's open every Friday and Saturday, and it just means that our rental agreements are, during this time of year, we just cannot rent the building,
Right.
then it is what it is. We don't rent during the day when we think we're going to be open for the ski season
Right,
for the
'cause you
same
would-
reason.
exactly.
So most of our rentals happen, when the weather's nice, when people can utilize the park as a park.
And in the summer, I'm sure you get more rentals for things like that, right?
Mhm.
Parties,
Yeah.
because it's a great building
Yeah,
spot to
we
have.
definitely get them more. This is the first winter that we've gotten a lot more requests.
Okay.
I think it's partially because we've been putting it out there more. People are hearing more, more coming.
But you have one this Saturday coming, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know what time it is or what it is, but our intention is to be flooding the rink on Friday night. And then maybe it's going to be very, very cold. So I don't know how many people will be there, but we want to make sure we coordinate not to
Mhm.
run into whatever you have
Yeah,
going on.
Sarah's also our rental coordinator right now.
Okay.
So I wish she could have made it tonight, but
Does she know what it is? Like, are you guys worried about Saturday? Because I'm going to be in Canada, so I won't be able to manage it from.
as far as the
Go
rental.
pick your skates.
No, I'm bringing them. Skating up there is better. But I just don't want, I don't want to, is it like something that people would be okay if they're skaters? Because it's always open to the public.
Yeah.
I think that comes with being at the park during
Okay.
the winter.
Okay. And so the rental person knows about that, and that it could be skaters.
I'll make sure that they do.
Okay.
but,
It's kind of like having a birthday party at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
there's-
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
that's a
shut
good way
it
to put it.
It-
How
I
much-
think for
how much-
right now, the concrete floors help mitigate people walking in, because then they're gonna take their skates off and then put them back on,
Right.
so.
Yeah,
We haven't seen a lot of people use the building. It's too
Yeah.
much of a pain in the butt to get up there.
it is. It's very
Yeah.
tricky. So
And-
people don't really go in.
Most of the people I've seen that have gone in have been some of our club members who happen to be out there skating,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
How much roundabout do you make off rental revenue a year? If you, assuming that you don't do it much in January, February.
I wish I had those numbers in front of me right now.
What was your question?
I don't even want to estimate.
The rental revenue,
Oh, rental, okay.
is it like $50 to rent or something?
75, 100?
Yeah.
We're up to 100 now?
I think so.
Well, it used to be 1 1/4 with a 5-hour minimum, $25 an hour.
It was different for members and non-members.
Yeah, members and non-members. So most of our rentals are members, which get that discount.
I see. Yep.
So I think we're at 100 for members, 150 for non-members.
But do you think it's 10 times a year?
Probably.
Because I'm just doing the rough math in my head. So if the oil is around, well, it's cheaper, $1,400, $1,500 a year, right? The electric is another $500 a year. The water is another $200 a year. So you're somewhere around $2,200. And if you guys are making $1,000 off rentals, you get that's kind of like that's.
It's covering utilities, or
Yeah,
not
I
even
mean-
covering.
Like, to charge we hardly use the building, and I don't know if it makes sense. If you're getting all the rental revenue, wouldn't that just kind of cover the utilities?
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, and
I don't know how much you rent it now, but 10 rentals in a year would have been a very busy year,
Oh, okay.
as of 2 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, so I could be 100% different now.
I'd
I
say
don't
we're
know.
up to 10.
Is you up a little bit?
Yeah, we've definitely,
You've seen an increase in it.
Increase
even
a
since
lot.
even since I've been there since
Yeah.
last year.
so really the whole reason for that is to cover those utilities because we are paying the utilities on a town-owned building. And that's, like you said before, that was the agreement was
Mhm.
the rental income stays with the club to pay those utilities, so. And that's why we're looking at $20 a month from the skate club is it's just, like you said, we wouldn't have noticed it if we were
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
It's not,
Okay.
a huge.
So, do you guys want to try and just throw out there a general rule of thumb for when you want to do rentals and non-rentals that we want to try to document, or not on Friday, Saturdays in certain months, or you want to try and throw something out there, or?
We could try to say during peak season, and we could define that as it's rare you skate before New Year's Day. It's just you can, but it's rare.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, but we could say sometime between December 15th and March 1st or something.
Yeah.
try to do either that or do like it's just so hard once you commit to the building, someone's gonna, or there's a clause in there that if you rent during this time period, just know that it's like an open park and you may be subject to people coming in to use the facility that are skating or skiing.
And I
Leave
think
it
that
at
Sarah has been really mindful where these requests are coming in
Yeah.
to the ski club, but possibly hasn't thought about, you know, the rink being open those nights because it's just not on our
Right.
normal radar because this is so new to us. Where, you know, the requests come in and we're like, well, we don't know if we'll be open, we don't know if this, you
Yeah.
know, but if we think you're going to be open that night, you know.
Yeah, or just and you could say that, or just tell the renter, yeah, you're welcome to rent, and just know that it's a public park and there could be people coming in and out if the skating rink's open, and make sure they've
Yeah.
agreed to that before you say yes, go for it.
And that's something that, so you're saying December 15th to March.
I mean, even December 20th probably to March
What's your,
1st.
15th.
give
Why not?
yourself more time.
Why not?
But if you put that, if you have that.
I can add it into our rental agreement.
Then you don't miss out on, you might miss out on $300 or something.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be
that's
a shame.
I would kind of side on adding it to the rental agreement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
during
Yes.
that, yeah, let's do that.
So are you thinking December 15th, March 15th?
Sure, and then that way it covers us in case we have like a spectacularly cold, floodable couple weeks in March or something, but.
So what we'll do is we'll add into our rental agreement that, I think we already have something in there that our
Right,
rentals,
and-
those are pending ski openings.
Yes.
But we can
Okay.
also add that rentals are pending, you know, if the skate is open, the doors are open
And-
to the
And you
public.
went at the park.
Right.
That's
And
good.
that's if the doors aren't always unlocked
Right.
when it's open. So it's really only available when the doors are unlocked.
Right.
And,
Yeah, it's true. And I don't always unlock it if it's a nice day, we don't go up there, so.
right.
Okay. No, we'll add that to our rental agreement.
Oh, that's a good plan. And in terms of us renting, I mean, there might be people next year who might crop up and want to do a skating birthday or something. Like, I don't know if we get into that as a skate group or we don't bother or we just coordinate through you guys.
What I thought would be that you guys seem to have a good handle on it. Just let you guys just keep the rental revenue
Can
and
we
return
just-
anyone to you, and then, but maybe we don't get charged half the utilities. Just to kind of
Like if we
balance
get potential renters that want to do skate parties, we just send them to the contact person that's running the rentals, and then you guys just tell them, sure, here's
Yeah.
the key to the building. If you wouldn't mind doing that, we would be happy with that.
I mean, we found it's much easier to have one person
Absolutely.
on point for
And-
rental. When
yes.
multiple people were handling it, it just got,
It's a bag of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very not interested in getting involved because handling the ice is all I can handle.
Yeah, I mean, instead of having, you know, Lindsay trying to get her rentals and Sarah trying to get rentals and then splitting the utilities 50-50,
Right.
if you guys, maybe we do it 75-20, but you guys keep all the rental and it just kind of works for everybody.
And really, as far as utilities go, you guys are using so little. Like if this was a normal season for us, we wouldn't even notice.
Right.
It's true, but we could
So
say the same thing the other way too.
right.
You guys are getting the short end of the stick this year.
But
that's the weather's fault.
yeah.
It's been so weird.
Now, Lindsay, I have a question for you. You're having a rental program with lessons and all that stuff?
Yeah, this year
Now,
was free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do the skaters or their parents have to sign some type of waiver?
Town rec waiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a safety liability.
So, the reason I bring that up is I've had people that wanted to rent the Pinnacle, but they also wanted to be sliding on the hill
Oh.
in conjunction with, and that was kind of a no-no because of liability
yeah.
issues. So I'm not sure how that's going to translate to the skating party and non-skating members skating and.
An open public rink.
It's, yeah,
Which
public
is like
park.
right at the park.
Yeah, we don't make anyone sign it if
No,
they
like-
come just to use it.
Right.
Skate at your own risk.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a sign up, this public that
Sledding
says
down
that,
risk.
like a disclaimer. Actually, there already
There's a sign that says skating, anything is all at your own risk, and we don't have just regular public people sign anything, they don't pay. We only have the children participating in the rec program, and there's no sledding allowed.
And that's because it's overseen by a town
entity.
backed rec entity.
Yeah, and there's insurance there. So we have them just sign saying we won't hold the town liable for injuries that are sustained at the skating rink itself.
And you make them wear helmets.
And we make them wear helmets, they can't participate without a helmet. That's what we do.
Excellent.
So that's kind of how we've safeguarded that program, but we don't permit the sledding, like, I try to do all I can to keep the sleds off the ice and stuff.
Oh, off the ice.
And off the hill there, but if they go up into the dark at night on the hill, they were kind of like, that's the public park and we don't get involved in stopping like people.
Right.
If it's skaters, we deter them, but if it's regular people, we just let them do what they want.
Okay, so you're talking about from the hut itself down to the ice. That's what you're or
The
just.
children
pretty
tend to
much.
want to sled down that little hill.
I know that.
And I'm like, no. Like, no. Enough of that. Especially when they
Well,
try
that's
to.
normal. I mean, you run out the door and there you go. You know. So
I know.
I do the same thing.
Yeah,
about
with their
the
skates
kids.
on.
I know. It is a nice way to get down the hill quickly. Go up and you just bring your boots in your lap and you get in the sled and you slide down.
There you go.
We've really tried to keep it very safe and knock on wood. We've had
Yeah.
a very healthy season of skating so far.
Anything
So, yeah.
else on rentals coordination? It seems like it will be pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, facilities, grounds, improvements, master plans. I would just throw it out there, get people thinking that between this season and next season, if there are improvements that want to make sure they're coordinated and that one doesn't conflict with the other, or better yet, we can kind of combine forces in a mutually beneficial improvement for all parties and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know if anybody has something around
So
that they're
the
working on.
notes that I had for grounds improvements and facility moving forward, and I'll send this all to you after, and anybody else who wants what I worked on. Goal number 1 in the 5-year plan was to divert the water from the main lodge. Last winter we had a flood. We had like 3 inches of water in the lodge. It was great. Went back through our records and it had happened in the past before as well. Somebody looked up maps who knows far more than I do about water and how it flows, and found out that the way the gravel pits all used to be, the water is flowing down the hill, and rather than going around the lodge to the river, it's just like right there. So, somebody drew up a map and plans that would be, diverting this water away from it. But looking at that with a 5-year plan, just so that, we're not looking at an insurance claim from the town for a flooded lodge again, things like that. We handled it firsthand.
So there wasn't a claim filed for that?
No,
Oh,
no,
excellent.
I walked in there and slopped through it to go make sure the power was off, and I turned off the main switch, and we got dehumidifiers, shop vacs, shampooers. Were you there during all that? Yeah, we just spent a solid week trying to get all of that out of there ourselves, because we just wanted to get it done. So that's definitely something, it's a big thing to talk about, but
Yeah. Maybe figure that, again, I look at that like when the roof is breaking down, replacing the roof, right? You're taking measures to preserve the facility and the asset. So collectively figure out how to do that.
yeah, I think that the quote, well, I don't know what we were looking at, it's maybe
But at the time we had approached about donated services,
Yep.
anybody that had anything with tracks on it, which is still an option.
totally, and it was doable.
It was doable. It was
So.
doable. There was probably, as we got kind of looking at things, there was a little more to it, right? There was no real way to really push it away from the building without putting some sort of knee wall in the front of the building to really raise the elevation, raise grade, and actually push the water towards the bunny hill and down the drive and stuff. So it's not just scratch a little ditch that's going to do it. So, but that was, I we would agree that's a big one.
Yep.
Yeah. Smaller ones I had was working on re-widening and opening the existing trails for both ski and hiking. Some of those we did some work on this year, so not that bad. Just looking at pictures of what the hill used to look like versus now, like we gained some stuff back, but not clear cutting it again, because that's not fun as a park in the summer. Removing the half pipe area on the main hill, mostly for safety. It's nothing that we can maintain properly ourselves, so it's just this rocky abyss.
So you said remove it, just flatten it out? Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. We'll try to figure out something else to do with that area. These are all the things we talked about last year. With the lodge, we talked, which we already touched on today, that the kitchen space really isn't ideal. A lot of wasted space. You know, we've all been in there. There's just this big open area of space that nobody's really using. So, you know, acting on in-kind donations and things like that, you know, just kind of maybe squishing the kitchen into the area to where that pillar is in the middle, and then being able to use that back section as another storage room for everything between the ski club and the rink and everything.
Grish did some kind of laying out of equipment, just where it would fit.
Yeah.
Other than losing some cabinet space and some counter space, which really
Which we don't go in those cabinets for any of that stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that could be, well, would definitely needed and well utilized.
Yeah.
Would you kind of go in that closet and kind of build it
Or
on
put
the-
another door.
Put a door to go into the next room, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, or
Just
connect
walk all the way
Either
around.
way, you know,
Yeah.
it'd be nice.
Because like the big rig where that pillar is, if you go to the far side, I believe it drops off to a hollow floor.
Okay.
I think,
You-
stretch right over
you're
everything.
right,
I
yeah.
think it's a hollow floor, so I think you could put a wall there and tear the floor, and it would all be the same level as that lower closet that you worked on.
What gives you that idea?
I don't know why we thought that, but we talked about it, and I really can't envision what that looked like. Do you think it's still concrete in there, the whole area?
Well, when we did the closet over, I didn't cut through the, because it would have been wallboard on the other side. So I don't know.
Either way, utilize the space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. We talked about that years ago.
So we can drop it all and make it one bigger room, or
Yeah.
Either
have
way.
a door
Yeah.
with a couple steps up into a second area,
Yeah.
something like
So
that.
that was one. The next one, item 5, was restore the ice rink. That was on our master plan and that's done.
Check that off.
So can kind of cross that one off, which is really, really cool. And then, you know, issues of safety, but most of those, you know, may or may not fall on the Pinnacle Ski Club itself and less so the committee. For the park, we did reconstruct our corral area to be a little safer this year, just for the way kids ski in.
Oh, up at the.
Rather than skiing really fast, they kind of have to go down and around and take their time in, so we've been addressing some of those safety issues. So those were all, you know, the long-term park-related goals that I had.
You guys good?
We did, for the facility, I don't know if this is facility, I don't know, but the speakers, the indoor-outdoor speaker setup so that people can, and that can be added on to, so if the ski hill ever decides they want to, like, put speakers on the front side of the building, they can do that. And then we would like to do the stair project, which is like a ground, sort of an egress up to the hut that's very, kind of long steps that are short, so it's, and cut into the side of that hill, so you could get up to the building with a little bit less.
Would that be accessible from the parking lot as well? Because
I don't,
the entrance to the lodge from the parking lot isn't exactly the best most of the time either. So
Right, I know.
if there's a way to make
Why
that,
couldn't you put it right in the very corner of the skate rink and then basically go right
so
past
you were
the-
talking about looping it around.
well, we
We're talking
talked
about
a
this-
couple different versions,
We
but.
talked about basically, I guess where you naturally kind of, you come down out of the hut to that
Yep.
kind of landing, and then you
Yep.
go down more, or you could kind of turn left and go down towards the skate rink.
Mhm.
What we thrown out there I think when we met with Gene, I don't know if it was when we met with Gene, was going kind of up, perpendicular, I guess parallel to the
To the little
to the little
concrete
hill,
pillar.
right? And coming up to that little
Granite
landing,
slabs.
and maybe coming from the other direction as well.
Yep.
Marrying together and then going up the hill.
Yeah.
Whether we got
That
a
would
lumber to do
work
all
for the
that.
parking lot, that would kind of, like, it would make sense, right? You would get onto it in the parking lot, or right by the parking lot. and
Yeah.
Follow the granite pillars up, granite, whatever they are, slabs, and
Yeah.
then kind of 90-degree up to the lodge.
I mean, it would make it safer
for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody.
We would want them to just be
Renters.
designed so that, especially when you're on skates, you need to be on flat ground and then take a step and then flat and step. Otherwise,
Ski
you're,
boots, you know,
Ski
people
boots,
run
same
down with
thing.
ski
Yeah,
boots
that's a
sometimes.
good point.
What do you envision for material for the?
we don't.
So we did get
design.
like, I don't know, like 10 by 10s, 12 by 12, they're heavy.
We got a
We got
donation.
some, we got some Seth Snowman donated a bunch of timbers.
Oh, timbers.
So we could do
They're rugged.
kind of 4 foot by 2 foot timber steps with some crushed stone. He
Donated that too,
donated
yeah.
stone as well.
Okay, so what are the people that with skates on, what are they gonna be actually stepping on? They're gonna have crushed stone or on
Well,
timber?
It'll be some mix in the winter. It's going to be some.
It's gonna be froze.
It's going to be a mess.
But that's good. That is a good point. Stepping on crushed stone with skates.
Which
Might not
isn't.
work
It's
as well.
fine as long as you're. It's
you
not
got-
great
if
for
you
the
walk on the
blades,
arms.
but
Maybe you could just step on like earth.
Yeah.
Like it's grass.
Just fill it in. And,
Yeah.
And it would just be frozen earth.
it's
Yeah.
That works. It works.
It might look better.
The timber is really the piece that's going to give you the steps, right?
The framing.
yeah, the
Yeah, the
framing.
frame, yeah,
So
right, so-
the stone was kind of like. Whatever it is going to end up unless you shovel it perfectly and unless it's a surface. I actually think about when you go into an indoor skating rink, if there's like an indoor outdoor, something that has a little give to it for that's
Yeah.
softer,
That's
so
what
that
I'm
you
thinking.
walk on it. But if you could do that somehow, I don't know how you would do that, but if you could do it and it could last, I just don't think it would last.
The
with the weather.
sod idea is probably, it's mostly, what I think about is stone now and just going, it gets everywhere.
Yeah, it'd
And
be
you
in the
do get,
grass.
you're gonna be up in the grass, you're
It's
gonna
hard
have
to shovel.
boards.
What do you think about, you're gonna have the timber frame,
Yep.
crushed stone base,
Or something.
and there's mats that you could
They
buy.
are, yeah.
Take them off, clean them, take them off in the summertime, stow them away.
Right, and use them in the
when
winter.
And
as
use
a-
them in the winter
and if
time.
they're black, they'll
easy,
melt and-
be easy to clean up. It's gonna be easy on the blades.
Yeah.
So that might be doable. It might be a little bit more extra work, but it would make it a lot easier for the little ones.
Yeah, and safer.
Pick it up and
we
down.
probably should have a railing, really, ideally,
Yeah.
a railing or two to help guide people up. But
Well, especially if there's gonna be any elderly people renting it.
right, and right now they're on their own.
In
getting
an
up there,
ideal
so-
world, it would be decking that we could shovel with rubber matting half on half of it. But
for a skate.
Yeah.
that's not.
Decking, you get into a maintenance thing, man.
Yeah.
If you had decking, you know.
Even if it was just the timbers you're talking, 10 by 10 timbers you're talking about, or a rubber mat on it in the winter, pull it up in the summer,
Yeah.
and just don't even put crushed stone on it. Then it's not in the grass. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that was a hot project for you guys, that would be beneficial to everybody using
Yeah.
it. So it's-
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's on our list
And
this
and there's
spring to
material
do.
there to do, start building some stuff, so
Yeah.
even if it comes in as kind of a, we do this piece, and then as we see on fits, all right, we'll
Yeah.
add this piece, and do that, whatever it might be.
Yeah, so we'll do
So
that
that-
this
that's
spring,
all.
summer,
Yeah.
before next season. The goal is to get that accomplished.
Yeah.
With the help of some local businesses and donations, I think we can get it done for next to nothing.
Other projects,
From our perspective, I mean, we've thought all about maybe next year making the rink a little bit bigger, but it's the number of hours spent shoveling, I'm not sure.
Shoveling committee is against that.
What, the shoveling committee? Chair of the shoveling committee over here.
shoveling committee's a bigger.
I'm co-chair of that committee, thank you very much.
We're gonna snip a few more trees. I think there's some danger trees down there that are, I don't know how they live, but they're still hanging out pretty good.
Yeah.
We hate to
Going
see
off
some,
nearest the river, or?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a couple leading, and we hate to have something, God forbid, snap while kids are skiing, snow. And the only other concern I have is the fence that was put in by the Boy Scout there, the Eagle Scout. It's really nice, and it definitely could be utilized. I've always just wondered, I stood there and wondered, do we need something a little more substantial along that wood line with the river 15 feet away, kids goofing around over by the snow, I don't know.
I think with the idea of that, he left it open to us if we wanted to back that fence
Like-
with something like a
Oh.
field wire or something, on the backside.
It's so picturesque, so.
It's
let's
just hard,
choose
it's like,
something
where do
aesthetically
you stop?
pleasing.
I mean, if a kid wants to get to the river, there's a lot of real estate there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We thought we lost the
crash to the
competitive
boards and fall all
No,
the way down.
it's far enough, and there's so much snow now as a deterrent on that backside. Like,
Yeah.
it's as tall as the fence. It's snow goes right up to it. So I think
Yep.
you
Maybe
have
that's
to
what
go
I'm
maybe a
concerned.
little closer to the river and do something down along the. if you were gonna do a wire fence, I'm not opposed to it. The other night I did say to some children that were playing, don't go any further than that fence. Like they were playing up on the bank, but as a mother, you're like watching the children. But it's not a bad idea.
Anything else for,
We may do walls on our state rink. We may not next year do boards. Shuffling committee is adamantly opposed to it, so.
Shovel higher.
we gotta get that snow blower up there.
Yeah.
I know, but other than that, I'm not really.
Shoveling committee seems excited about it.
I'd like to see some sort of, when you get going down to the rink, it seems like not a big deal, but it is tricky to get from the parking lot in the wind, like down that little thing.
I think we should invest in a rubber mat from just the parking lot, the 15 feet from the parking lot to the corner of the rink. That is the most dangerous
It is the most
part.
dangerous, maybe
Because
even
it's the
more
low
than.
point and all the water goes there. The
Yeah.
ice is just fantastic outside the rink.
So that's, once we extend it and incorporate it into the rink, it's gonna be perfect.
Maybe even a couple, I don't know, something that's more purposeful to get down. It's just a gnarly little
Yeah.
slope and it's
I-
tricky.
I-
People
So
wipe out.
I've seen kids with
Do you
skate
find that the kids put their skates on at the car and then go down, or?
You laugh,
Well,
but
we've
they've
got
done it.
2 new benches that are now level with the rink, but that green bench sits up at the top of that, so if you're up there putting your skates on and you get down, you're just,
And
right
you don't
down.
realize it because you don't really understand what's under the snow, and
and you don't see,
and
yeah,
then
you don't
then
realize.
you step on it and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky, so I think that might be even an opportunity to put a few little steps or something. Maybe just a few wooden steps that kind of can be shoveled and kept sort of like a path. I
At
think
least,
it would
at
save
least
a lot of
something that
people.
sits above the water level.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Ben, if there's a way to better trench the water away from that, or if it was just the way we flooded
I
it
think
this
it was
year.
the loss
It
of
just
the water.
became.
It was loss of water when we flooded that really hurt us to start. I don't think that would necessarily eliminate it though. That day we were standing there, I was looking where the shed sets. If you go to the parking lot side of the shed, it kind of naturally gets a little bit lower on that side. And maybe if we did scratch a small, whenever we're doing some earthwork up there next, if we scratch something, it might just help run some of that water off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. But other than that, I think that's it for us.
What else, Jim?
I don't have anything as far as improvements. I would like to address, Heather, you're the president now, or?
Vice President, acting president.
Okay. Speaking for a moment as a Kiwanian, are you using the gas stove or gas furnace at all, or the insert?
Really, no, because
We haven't been open.
our rentals aren't supposed to use it, and we haven't had it on.
Is it hooked up and then?
We hooked it up, we made sure it was working well this
Oh,
year
okay,
and everything like
okay,
that. One day we
okay.
were in there cleaning, we turned it on to make sure it was
Okay.
working.
So,
So-
what I would like, if you could, for your next ski club meeting,
Mhm.
is the Greater Pittsfield Area Kiwanis would like to continue that relationship and supplying the propane for the insert through the winter. And also, we would like to share the popcorn machine, which is owned by the Kiwanis, but we use it for 1 week a year.
Yeah.
So, so we'd like to continue that arrangement as well. The only thing is that I would need to be able to access that, like I said, that 1 week in the year, so I can get up and get the tank and
Right.
and the popcorn machine and stuff as well. So, but I mean, that's an easy fix. So, I just want to bring that up because
As
that-
we're talking about this, not to interrupt you, Jason was the one who was getting all the keys for everybody. Did that ever get finished? Does everybody have
I
keys?
left them right on my counter. I have all the sets of keys that you guys, that we talked about.
Okay.
You guys have keys, right?
Yeah, no, we're fine. I just want to make sure like that
So
was
I
done.
have keys on my counter for Pinnacle Park Committee. The skate committee has 2 sets, and we've got extras for police department, fire department, and town office. So they can have keys to
So
probably
for
work.
the The 2 doors at the building plus the gate, or just the 1 door to the
I think
gate?
it's the one door
and
and the
gate.
gate.
Just
Door and gate.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think the side door is keyed the same
Those
right
did,
now, but
those didn't get keyed the same when you changed those?
they might have. He
I
talked
think
about
they
doing
did.
it. So.
I don't, the Packer shed is not.
Right.
The
I
package has key
think
difference.
because it's the Packer.
Which
Yeah.
it should be keyed different.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
How's that running, by the way? I mean, not that it's been used much, but how's
He had it out the
what's
other
the
day.
boss thing about it?
I pulled in the
Because he's
other.
always working on tinkering or something on that
Yeah,
thing.
it
So
seems to be pretty good.
Planning on running it tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah. I went up there with the plow truck the other day because we had to go clear out all that equipment, and I go in the building and set my stuff down, and there he goes with the Packer to plow. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm gonna plow. Okay.
So does that mean you're gonna be open this weekend?
We were hoping for a snowstorm today.
I know.
So now, are you selling any equipment at all, or how's that working?
Yeah, so it's the same as always. We have equipment fully stocked.
Right. You have an abundance now, but if someone wants to come up and get some skis this weekend, is there gonna be somebody around?
If we're open. Otherwise, they should message either the ski club on Facebook or pittsfieldpinnacle@gmail.com. Message one of us to get a hold of us, and we can go up there and meet them. We can meet them anytime to sell them equipment. But if we're open, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
When you say the Packer, you're talking about the groomer? Is that the groomer?
Yes.
It worked out really good. I don't know if Ed is willing to do this, but he kind of went down by the rink and did a little path over to the building. It was awesome. Like, we just have piles of stuff everywhere.
Just for the record, Ed's the man. Okay?
Yeah,
He
he
is
is awesome.
He is the man.
I
Without,
just
I
had
gotta
thought
tell
of
you guys, without him, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
yeah.
So treat
Absolutely.
him good. That's all I'm saying. Treat him good.
I wish
Yeah.
I thought to ask him before I shoveled my face off for 20 minutes and said, maybe Ed could plow this off.
I know.
He'd love to. He'd do anything
Yeah,
for you.
he tries to. He's very good at
Drive
making
down.
it accessible to the parking lot
Yeah.
as well.
And that's
So
yeah. If he doesn't mind driving, just
He took
scooting
a-
down by the rink and making a little path, it's
Yeah, he took
very
a
good
left
for our
turn
rec
and just
program.
went one
to do.
swipe across and, the world of difference.
Yeah. So that's under collaboration opportunities. Maybe if Ed doesn't mind kind of hopping down there.
That leads us nicely to collaboration.
Yeah.
I bet he'd love to do that.
That's the only thing that I would say as an ask is that we can get that plowed.
Another question. What is the status of the main rope tow engine motor? Has anything been done with that mechanically in the last couple of years?
no, there are some major overhauls being planned
Yeah.
as far as braking. But now we're looking at if we're going to put X amount of dollars in, maybe we put a little bit more into it to upgrade a little differently.
Redo the whole thing?
We're hesitant to get rid of that motor because it is so old and reliable. So we're weighing some options there, and happy to have your input on that, having experience there for a while. So
Yeah.
this summer,
Well,
I think.
we found an excellent mechanic when it was broken before, and he's every time I see him, he's asking me about it. So if you're looking for someone to help with the braking system, I mentioned it to him, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's fine."
And who is this?
Kenny Clark,
Okay.
he helped Ed and I when it broke,
Okay.
whenever that was, 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
ago. I
we're
guess.
looking to really do some overhaul on that. Possibly see if we can change the layout a little bit, where that tire, instead of being this way, is this way.
Oh, okay, so you're talking major, okay, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but that would
Yes.
eliminate any of the twist on there.
So
there's
you're
been-
saying if it was a vertical wheel that it wouldn't have the twist?
Not as much. 'Cause
Now, how do you know that?
Well, you're taking that rope that's going this way, and then you're turning it this way
Yeah.
and back around, so it's manipulating itself, where if it only had to go up and around, it potentially wouldn't twist as much. We're also, because we're dreamers, we're pricing out what T-bar upgrades and things like that would look like, grants for those, now that, we're a completely, reformalized a 501.
You got your 501c3, are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. Who did that? Did you do that?
It was a group effort,
Wow,
but
that is fantastic.
yeah.
That's
So
great
now we
news.
can start to go for grants.
Oh yeah, right. That's what
and
I was
other
gonna
things
say right
for
before
that.
you said we get to. That's
Which
fantastic.
I'm hunting down right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've got some ideas for upgrades. We're trying to make some estimates, and so that when the opportunity to apply for these grants pops up, when their application periods pop up, I have that information to be able to do that.
Nice. That's terrific.
Yeah, it was a lot of work and sacrificing a lot of, the way the club can run
Mhm.
to become that nonprofit.
Yep.
But the opportunities there are just worth
That's
it.
awesome.
So.
That's awesome.
But
Good job.
yeah, it also helps it go on in the future too.
Yep. Yep.
Other collaboration topics, issues, ideas.
Pinnacle Fest. I know you guys are kind of I know it's not really
Right.
formalized for you, or if
We
it's
need to
even-
make a call whether and if the Pinnacle Fest doesn't involve ski races and other things, what can the Pinnacle Fest be?
Right.
You know.
We are doing our grand opening, our first
Mhm.
annual, our grand opening, which is just the first time we've had an opportunity this a week from Sunday. And obviously, you guys, your whole group, if you
Yeah.
extend the invitation, it's on my Facebook, but
Right.
you guys obviously should come and enjoy and whatever. But maybe down the road next year, when imagining that we have the snow that we didn't get this year,
I think it would be nice to be able to get our groups together.
Yeah.
And
combine that event, make it
Absolutely.
one big
yeah,
one.
and then
Pinnacle Fest in and of itself could
It's the park.
celebrate the whole park.
Right.
Yeah.
And as from
All of
a
it.
town, like the Pinnacle Park Committee almost could be the, we're like subcommittees,
Yeah.
but
We're
I
happy
feel
to share that name.
Right.
You got your butt down races, you got,
Skating.
3-on-3 hockey,
Yeah.
4 hockey
Oh,
time
we
race.
should
Yeah.
have a little cup, a little 3-on-3 cup.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it's planned. We're talking about it.
Run it exactly like the Stanley Cup. Each winner gets it for 24 hours, and then it goes back into the display case.
Yeah, we have to. Actually, that's on our vacation agenda is to work out whether we can do a little mini 3-on-3 hockey or something
wanna
with the kids.
Talk together about a weekend and really pull off Pinnacle Fest, and that can be a part of it.
Well, ours is the 20. Ours is.
Or are you
so-
gonna do it then?
We have to. Yeah, we're so far down the road now planning because the skating season's open. I mean,
Right,
like
right.
in a week after next week. I mean, it's gonna be in the 40s starting next weekend, and it was gonna be in
Like
the
it's
40s
been
like
most
every
of the
day.
winter.
You guys
So we
are
might
praying,
lose our
praying
rate.
for cold weather.
I know, next week
Television.
looks good, and if we could just get the ice built up next week, then they can destroy it all they want on Sunday. And it's gonna be in the 40s after that, but we're looking at the end of the season. Otherwise, I would say absolutely. We may get a lot of snow in March, but the conditions change during the day, and the ice might not hang in there, so.
And it might be best, at least for this year, we run our own independent with whatever we can scrape together, and then you get your plan started because you got the weather timeline, and then maybe next year we can start thinking about
A collaborative.
a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good. Cool, that's
Today,
all I have.
other-
Yeah, the golf course was talking about, like, we could even incorporate them with like a cross-country ski, like, race or something.
Yeah, I know we
Yeah,
have some
they
cross
wanted to
country
be
skis.
involved. Like an after kind of party, after the Pinnacle Fest, like, location, everyone goes
Can
over.
we use
and-
their parking lot, and can they shuttle people with their golf carts?
That'd be
Because we have parking issues.
That would
Yeah.
be a great
I guarantee
idea.
they would be
Oh my
open to
gosh,
that,
that's
because
cool.
they're looking to build their restaurant and all that
Mm-hmm.
in the winter. I guarantee.
They're doing some innovative things there, and they're really busting their butt there. So
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Maybe
if
they
you
could do
guys-
some, maybe they could do some catering of the
Maybe do
event
that
or something like that.
There you go.
It'd have to be for Pinnacle Fest.
I was just thinking, she said shuttle, because when next week, parking is definitely on my top of mind, but it's gonna be a free-for-all. I'm sure we're trying to get everyone parked for.
We just put up signs on one side of the road to try to keep the town happy that says
Yeah.
no parking this side of the road.
Okay.
We park all our vehicles
Across the road.
at Ed's place of work or in the town garage is what we've been doing.
Oh, okay.
So we
Good
park
idea.
all of our vehicles away, because
Okay.
otherwise we take up half the parking lot. And-
Just your group, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. But yeah, let's look at maybe down the road we can combine
And
forces.
especially nights and weekends, they're closed.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Cool, that's all I have.
Anything else?
I got one more Kiwanis event for you, Heather. Our annual egg hunt.
Mhm. Do you have a date for that now?
I do.
Okay.
It would be the day before Easter, so it would be the 11th of April.
Okay.
Talk about parking issues. We've had people parking on Heartland Avenue. It's crazy. So it starts promptly at 9, and we advertise it promptly at 9 because people show up at 9:05 and it's gone. It's done. It's over.
What was the date again? I'm sorry.
April 11th. So, you know, you're gonna want to bring your kids up to that. It's quite the scene there.
My kids are
So
motivated.
we would like to be able to use the hut if we could from, let's say, 7 till
Yeah.
11 or
9 to
something.
9:10.
Yeah. So what we do is we get the key clubbers from the Comas and MCI to help us pack the plastic eggs with candy.
Yep.
And so we get a bunch of kids. It's pretty popular. A bunch of kids show up and do that. It takes about 20 minutes, and then we sit around eating pizza until 9 o'clock.
And what's nice about that day is it really has no impact to anything that we do.
Do you hide the eggs in the hill? Like big ones?
Well,
hide
they
them?
don't really hide them. They kind of
they
just
throw 'em
throw
on the
them. We
grass.
ask them not to, but so
My
Yeah.
dog did it last year. It was
you know, it's very popular. And what we've been trying to do, and if anybody has any ideas, please let us know. So a lot of kids, we limited, I think, to 10 years old. You know, up to 5 years old on one side of the rope, and then 6 through 10 on the other side. But of course, the older kids, they grab their stuff and they just want to leave right after. And we try to get them to stay and share their bounty with kids that don't have it. And then also one of our members, we do give away like stuffed animals and stuff for the best. You know, Easter basket and outfits and stuff like that, and you know, the Easter bunny's there, so it's the kids seem to really like that. So, but anyway, so yeah, it's a spectacle. Lasts about half an hour.
You gotta hold out on letting them go get the eggs until after you're done with them. Then let them go.
You get your awards.
I feel like you gotta get your awards first, you gotta come in the building first, then we let you go.
There you go. I like that.
This is coming from a mom, so.
yeah.
Right, you can get them to do anything when you have that carrot dangling on the other end.
Holding
It's
the chocolates over their head.
It's
Yeah, I
like
guess-
Christmas
I guess
Eve,
so.
eat your broccoli, you know, eat your broccoli. Always works every time.
That's something to think
I
about.
thought it might make sense to have this group kind of come together maybe twice a year or something like that.
Yeah.
Postseason, then pre-season, in late, mid-fall, whatever. What are the projects we're kind of looking at for
Yeah.
the coming summer, and then we're ready for the season to get going. What's everybody up to? How's it going? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
This could probably cover our postseason
Yeah.
meeting, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
informal conversation will happen all places.
Do you have any plans as the committee to finalize that like 5-year master plan and submit it to the council and blah,
Yeah,
all
we're-
that protocol?
So,
I know
yes.
it's a lot of work.
We have a proposal into the ordinance committee now to make some modifications to the committees themselves.
Okay.
And that was kind of listed as one of the core functions of perhaps a newer formed committee, collaboration of a number of committees come together to oversee a number of areas within the town, and that would be one of the really work on master plan overseeing that. Similar to what we're trying to do right now, which is
Yeah.
having obviously that too. Putting that. Yes. How about that?
Okay.
We do have one other Pinnacle Park committee member who's not here, and from what I understand, he's very ill, and so he probably won't be coming to any meetings.
Okay.
Soon, anyway. Hopefully,
No,
hopefully
he
in the
won't be
future.
coming to any meetings.
No? That's unfortunate.
Yes, very unfortunate. Anyway.
Anything else before we wrap up?
Thank you guys for your time.
All right, yeah, awesome,
Appreciate
good
it.
meeting, guys, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, or Heather?
Oh, I don't know, so you weren't gonna discuss this is a separate issue from, I thought we were discussing this too.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
We cut the rest of these cats out of
Okay.
here.
Or you can just come to the ordinance committee next week.
I plan to come to that.
Okay.
I thought
Why don't we
that's what
do
we
that?
discussed, that would.
Okay. And I thought you guys, for some reason, I thought you guys were talking about it tonight and then roping everybody in and then it was when tossing feelings and.
Like I said, I don't know what Jim's got.
Is that a normal council meeting night next Tuesday?
No, next Thursday we set an ordinance committee meeting. So this is one of the things we're going to work with, and they're going to see Catherine in the morning and get the agenda for it because we had a couple other items that we were going to talk about too. In the last meeting, type up my notes.
I'm happy to.
No,
Thank you.
yeah, nope, that's great. I think it's great being able to observe.
All right, thank you.
Come next Sunday, a week from Sunday, come see. There's gonna be live reindeer, Frozen theme. Bring your children.
We're planning on it.
This is a big deal.
Where did you find reindeer?
There's one, well, I don't know if it's really true, but I'm told he's the only reindeer that come for parties in the state. I don't know if that's true.
It might be.
But it does make it
There's not
seem
many.
more magical.
There's not many.
Pony Express is a company out of Waterville that do reindeers for parties.
There's
I've never heard of
somebody
that.
I know just had a